Why is it important to have a growth mindset? Benefits of a growth mindset. Having a growth mindset means believing that learning is a lifelong process, that success isn't limited to our academic life, and that we can always learn something new. However, if you're constantly second-guessing yourself and you're already convinced that you can never grow any further in your career or personal life, then you need to understand why it's essential to have a growth mindset. So, why is it important to have a growth mindset? Before diving deep into that, let's first discuss what a growth mindset is. What is growth mindset? A growth mindset is an attitude that helps us move forward in life, no matter what happens. It allows us to embrace challenges, learn from past mistakes, and take advantage of opportunities we wouldn't otherwise have access to. When you possess a growth mindset, you are more likely to be optimistic about your future. If you think that your intelligence is something you can grow, you will be more motivated to get better at things. You will be willing to put in the effort to develop your skills and knowledge. You'll also be less stressed out because you won't feel like everything depends on how smart you are. Instead, you'll focus on improving your strengths and weaknesses. Above all, you'll appreciate every learning opportunity, and you might begin to embrace the learning process. In other words, people with growth mindsets can get better grades or achieve things they thought were impossible before because their brains are never stagnant and constantly being rewired. But if you still need convincing, here are a few things you should know about the power of mindset, why it's important to have a growth mindset, and how you can rewire your brain to focus on growth and development instead of failure and defeat. So, what does it mean to have growth mentality? A lot of people grow up believing that intelligence is fixed. They think that their ability to learn certain things is limited. However, research shows that people who hold this belief tend to be less successful than others. If you want to improve your chances of success, you should adopt a growth mindset. Because successful people are more likely to have a growth mindset than unsuccessful people. As you probably already know, growth mindset is the complete opposite of fixed mindset. If you want to have a growth mentality, the first thing you need to do is to look at your limitations. Realizing that you could be better allows you to see where you can improve. When you are able to do this, it becomes much easier to improve your weaknesses. Another thing that allows you to transition to a growth mentality is when you allow yourself to explore skills that you still need to become familiar with. You may think that you don't know how to do something, but if you take the time to learn more about it, you'll realize that nothing is stopping you from getting better at it. In other words, having a growth mentality allows you to try something new, even if it's something you've never done before. When you have a growth mindset, you see failure as a stepping stone to success. Why does having a growth mentality matter? Having a growth mindset is a great way to become successful in life, as shown in recent studies. In other words, we need to develop a growth mindset to be better prepared for the challenges that come our way. Because, after all, the world constantly changes. We cannot always control what happens around us, but we can control how we react, and we can most certainly prepare for it. We must be adaptable and ready for the changes that come our way. And when we see failure as something that will help us become better people and achieve our goals, then we can learn from our mistakes and move on. Why is it important to have a growth mindset? Your approach to growth significantly affects your personal and professional success. Having a growth mindset, for instance, allows you to embrace continuous improvement, take risks, and seek out new challenges. In other words, this boost in brain power can give us the confidence to take on difficult tasks and push ourselves to reach our goals even in the most difficult situations. No wonder this concept of growth mindset could be invaluable for developing leadership and problem-solving skills and even boosting creative ability. It also helps to improve relationships with others, both in the workplace and out of it. 1. Increased confidence. One of the most remarkable benefits of having a growth mindset is increased confidence. When you have a growth mindset, you believe that intelligence and abilities can be developed, so you don't worry as much about making mistakes or the consequences of failure. And even if you do, it allows you to be more open to trying new things for continual improvement. As you grow in knowledge and experience with continued effort, your confidence also increases, and you become more sure of yourself and your abilities. With a growth mindset, you will be more likely to take on challenges and make a greater effort in the things you do, which will help you achieve success. 2. Improved resilience. One of the most significant benefits of having a growth mindset is improved resilience. People with a growth mindset can better confront and overcome difficult challenges and setbacks. This is because they understand that failure and difficulty are part of the process, and they're not deterred by it. They're willing to take risks, learn from mistakes and try again. Improved resilience leads to increased self-confidence and greater success in life. 3. Increased learning abilities. Having a growth mindset can mean increased learning abilities. By embracing challenges and continuously striving to learn and grow, you are setting yourself up for success. When you see mistakes or struggles as opportunities for growth, you become more open to learning new things and stretching yourself to achieve your goals. This thinking leads to increased knowledge, skills, and confidence in your abilities. Furthermore, having a growth mindset can make you more creative and innovative, allowing you to devise creative solutions to problems. Ultimately, having a growth mindset can lead to greater personal and professional development and increased performance in the classroom, workplace, and beyond. 4. Improved problem-solving skills. An essential benefit of a growth mindset is improved problem-solving skills. With a growth mindset, we are more likely to view challenges as opportunities to learn and develop new skills. This helps us to be more creative and open to different solutions to a problem instead of relying on tried-and-true methods. Improved problem-solving also leads to increased resilience and self-efficacy, which can help us to stay motivated and focused on our goals. 5. Positive self-perception. Having a growth mindset has been shown to have a positive effect on self-perception. People with a growth mindset are more likely to view themselves and their abilities more favorably. They are willing to take risks and try new things, rather than relying solely on their past successes. There's no doubt that this can lead to greater self-esteem, as these individuals become more confident in their abilities and are willing to take on new challenges. People with a growth mindset are also more likely to take responsibility for their mistakes, leading to a stronger sense of self-efficacy and a more positive view of themselves. 6. Openness to learning new things. Having a growth mindset is beneficial in many ways, including openness to learning new things. Having this attitude of openness encourages the exploration and development of new skills, and building on existing knowledge. Being open to learning new things also encourages creativity, which can lead to new ideas, improvements, and solutions that can help one to succeed in their endeavors. Openness to learning new things can be a great benefit of having a growth mindset and help one reach their potential and achieve success. 7. Ability to take on challenges. A growth mindset is a powerful tool that can help improve our ability to take on challenges. It allows us to see challenges as opportunities to grow and develop, rather than barriers to success. With a growth mindset, we can break down tasks into smaller, more manageable components and focus on the process, rather than the outcome, allowing us to keep our motivation and focus on doing our best and learning from our mistakes. Additionally, it helps us to be more open to new experiences and willing to take risks. Growth mindset also helps us to develop resilience, which is vital in times of difficulty or failure. By adopting a growth mindset, we can approach challenges with a positive attitude and greater confidence, which can help us succeed. 8. Better focus and concentration. Growth mindset provides us with better focus and concentration as it encourages us to persist in the face of setbacks and to view failure as an opportunity to learn. With a growth mindset, people are better able to break down complex tasks into achievable goals, allowing them to develop a sense of purpose and stay focused on their objectives. In other words, growth mindset also helps us to stay motivated and resilient, enabling us to see our efforts as an investment in our future successes. Ultimately, the growth mindset can give individuals the confidence and motivation to stay focused, allowing them to reach their goals more effectively. How can I build a growth mindset on my own? There are certain things that people can do to build a growth mindset on their own. The main thing to remember is that you should focus on learning rather than achieving. In other words, focus on the process more instead of the results. It's also important to understand that a growth mindset isn't easy to achieve, but it's possible to develop it through hard work and dedication. Having a growth mindset can be highly beneficial for individuals, organizations, and communities. As you have learned, there are many reasons why it is important to have a growth mindset. The first reason is that this mindset allows you to take calculated risks and make changes, giving you more confidence in your decisions and actions so that you never have to worry about your past mistakes holding you back. Second, a growth mindset helps you to improve all areas of your life. It allows you to become a better student, a better parent, a better employee, and even a better citizen. The final reason why having a growth mindset is essential is because it helps you to realize your full potential and live a happier and more fulfilling life. With a growth mentality, you'll be able to see your weaknesses as strengths and use them as a stepping stone toward your goals. Got self-improvement tips or an effective method that allows you to develop a growth mentality? Share them in the comments below. And if you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. We're rolling out tons of content about productivity, self-improvement, and motivation in the next few weeks, so stay tuned. Thanks again for watching, and we hope to see you in the next video.